Alright, you guys. Agent Mad Hat here. Talking about Dream Theater and their new album, The Astonishing. If you're a fan of Dream Theater, you know what they are and what they represent. Progressive metal mixed with power metal a little bit. Just really, when you listen to their albums, you realize that their albums are going to be fantastical, overblown, sometimes even, sometimes a bit cheesy. That's what you expect with Dream Theater. That's what their fans expect, and either you're a fan of this or you're not. There's really not a whole lot of middle ground when it comes to Dream Theater. This album is an album I did not expect to really like all that much. I thought it'd be an album I might find a little bit of novelty in, and it would just be kind of forgettable. But I was really surprised by it. The thing about this album is it's not going to be an album that you jam to. It's not going to be an album that's going to get you banging your head, throwing the metal horns up. It's an album that takes a lot of... it demands a lot of attention from the listener. It's not structured around necessarily the music and the guitars and the guitar solos and the drums and the bass and the necessarily the music itself. It's structured around a storyline. And honestly, I really, really like the storyline that it's structured around. It's structured around a storyline where people have forgotten the music. People have forgotten music and the power of music, and they live in this sort of society where the emperor is kind of the emperor, all powerful, tyrannical. And basically the hero of the story is Gabriel, who is a very gifted vocalist, a very gifted singer, and his confidant, the leader of the rebellion, is Ares. And it just functions around this story about the Nomax, or however you want to pronounce it. These computers that are just the noise makers. They don't make music, they make noise and robotic computer sounds. And it's based around Gabriel, the so-called savior of the story, and Ares is his kind of protector, and Ares' son Xander is factors into the story as well. Basically, Gabriel, the emperor the emperor comes to a gathering to hear Gabriel sing and see what he's all about. Decides that Gabriel is a threat to his empire. Gives sort of this ultimatum. Ares and the rebels give Gabriel up to us in 3 days, or you'll face wrath. At the same time, his daughter, the emperor's daughter Faith, and Gabriel kind of exchange this moment during Gabriel's performance, where they exchange this moment and they kind of fall in love with each other, right? And so then the emperor's son Darius, I think his name is, it gets involved to win his father's kind of approval or pride. Gets involved and goes to Ares' house and threatens Ares' son Xander, kidnaps him and says, well, I can give him this rich life, this greater life, if you will give up and betray Gabriel to me and my Father, I will be able to give your son a life he never expected, a rich life, a lavish life. And it's basically this multifaceted story, and it functions not like a musical album, but more like a cinematic effect, more like an audio movie, if you will. The music is good, but it doesn't function. The biggest function of the album is in the story. So if you're wanting to put on the album and not read the lyrics and just listen to the music, you're probably going to be disappointed. If you're wanting to just put on the album as background noise, you're probably going to be disappointed. You're probably not going to like it all that much. But if you go and listen to, and go, either buy the album and read the lyric book, or either go on Dark Lyrics or Metal Archives and look up the lyrics and follow along with the lyrics. Following along with the lyrics will give you way more enjoyment out of this album. I can't see how you would really get any enjoyment out of this album if you don't follow along the storyline and the lyrics with it. But the storyline, at times it can seem a bit cheesy, at times it can seem a bit overblown, but this is Dream Theater, and anybody that's a fan of Dream Theater will not be unfamiliar with this motif, with this idea of it being overblown and epic. So I really like the storyline. I do like the music. I like when John Petrucci opens up and shreds on the guitar. I really enjoy this album. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. To give it a score, I would give it about a 90 to a 93 out of 100. It's a good album. You've got to follow along with the lyrics if you want to enjoy this album. You can't enjoy this album unless you read the lyrics and get involved in the story. That's how this album functions. It functions as a story. It functions as an audio cinema. 2 hours long, basically it's like listening to a movie without visuals, without special visual effects, without a picture. It's a story that takes place within a 2-hour time frame. You have to look at the lyrics, you have to read the lyrics, you have to listen along. It demands your attention, it demands you to be involved in the listening experience. If it's just something that you want to function as background music and background noise, you're going to hate it, you're going to despise it. But if you read the story, you might find that you really like it. Like I said, 90 to 93 out of 100. Dream Theater, The Astonishing. That's my score. That's what I have to say about it. Peace, motherfuckers.